I feel like men are very calculated. They know exactly what they're doing when they come after you specifically. Baby, you a victim. Yeah. When I born, it clear. Yeah, bonakala. Out in the glasses.
Honestly.
When I saw body bananas red flags, nothing don't want to again. I know it. Yes. Even I just sit up a tarata. I said, no, to me, no, you're so jealous of me. I'm quite jealous. In fact, you need a slap, my darling. You need a slap. You were like, yeah. Gum, it's better food. Daughter, and now, Chummy are looking at you like, oh, smooth.
I am back with another video, and before we even get into this fantastic video, I'm gonna need you to click on that subscribe button so that I can be a part of your journey, you can be a part of my journey, and we can be on this journey of, I don't want to involve you in the singleness, but we can just be on this journey together. As you can see, I have a very special guest today, Snowy Z. Guy one. Exactly. Period. I don't just bring anybody onto my channel. Okay, I don't bring anybody onto my channel, but like I'm very selective with the people that I bring on my channel, you know. And I had to bring sisters over here because like we clicked when we first met. It was just like
in 2 seconds.
Love at first sight, you know.
So romantic.
It's romantic, man. Anyways. Basically, the segment that we will be doing is Coaches Don't Play, where single people will give relationship advice because we are coaches. We coach from the sideline.
We don't play.
We don't actually play the game. We don't actually play the game. Me and sister girls, we have a lot of things in common. You know what I'm saying? Natural hair girlies. You know what I'm saying? Don't put the dishes in the sink. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But we also have a lot of things not in common, and we don't agree on a lot of things when it comes to relationships specifically. And so that's why I was like, you know what, we have to just have this conversation on camera and advise these people, and they will get to make the choice for themselves what they decide to do, because at the end of the day, the coach can coach as much as they want to coach, but as a player you will decide what you want to do. So obviously we're single, duh, we've already said that, we've already established that. But I want to ask you a question of like, obviously you know, you say I want to play the game, but hypothetically she wants to play the game, right?
Sure.
Hypothetically you want to play the game, right? So you are being pursued by somebody who has been working, let's say, 3 years
now.
Yes, 3 years, you know, now you are currently a student.
Yeah.
You know the vibes. You know the vibes, you know what I'm saying? You currently, that's it, you're currently a student, you know. What advice would you give to people who are in a situation where they find themselves being pursued by a person who is sort of like starting to be established and they're still a student? Like, what advice would you give them? Like, do you think that it's a great idea? It's a bad idea?
I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a wrong thing though. I just think it's not smart. For me personally, money is a huge deal, right? And if I don't have it and you have it, I will feel small. And at some point you're gonna treat me like a small girl. I foresee it. And that's what's gonna happen, because also we must not forget that money plays a huge role in relationships in terms of power dynamics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not to say, oh no, Snowy D wants to be top dog.
But you do want to be top dog.
No, as in terms of I want to be top dog and you can be
in the relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not that vibe. Makfane. Mabu. You know what I mean? That's what I like, and that's what I'm about. And I would advise you to do the same, but I don't know you.
Even 3 years to me, just 3 years. It's just 3 years to me. It's not a lot.
And feel comfortable.
It's not hassle be.
And feel comfortable.
We understand that.
Because for an example,
establish.
For you, it would be let's just go out on a date. I need to plan things a month in advance.
Oh, before
financially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it will always be a thing of, no, I'll pay for it. No, I'll pay for it. No, I'll pay for it.
Oh, you don't like that?
No. It makes me feel small, which is why I'm saying for you, it might not be a big deal. You might not care about feeling small. You might not even feel small to begin with. Yeah, but for me, myself, and I, think ahead. That thing is gonna matter. Because now you're setting the tone for your relationship. You get what I mean? And that's not the tone I want to set for any relationship.
So like even in like your friendships, you just like friends.
Our friends is not that intimate, and most of my friends, by the way, are just women.
Yeah.
So I really don't.
But I'm saying with that whole thing of like, let's say you have a working friend, and it's always like, oh, don't worry, it's on me.
I would feel small.
Or you have the same.
At some point, I will be like, Chummy, let's not go anywhere. Because I hate feeling small. It's a big insecurity of mine. I hate it. I hate it with everything in me. And whatever you do, even if you don't mean to, it's just gonna echo that.
Me, on the other hand, like I get the power dynamic part of it. Like I definitely get the power dynamic part of it. Like if I am solely relying on this person, let's say I have graduated now, but I kiss it, right? So
that's even deeper.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm basically out of my parents' care, and it's solely on him. Then I get that whole thing of like the power dynamic. It's giving, you can control me, because at the end of the day, everything is dependent on you. I want to go out, kikupa shelter vibes. You know what I'm saying? I get the whole like power dynamics thing. But for me right now, like my parents still got me. I still have some of like side hustles. You know? So it's like I wouldn't feel like wholly like the power dynamics in play in terms of like the finances. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd be like, it's whatever. And for me, very patala, like why usa patali? Like why usa patali? Like I'm just the type, like why usa patali? Why are you saying, oh, let's go out, and I'm the one
absolutely
paying? You know what I'm saying?
It's in terms of, you know, that whole first date thing when people are always scabbling about it, but it's like, you asked me out, you're gonna pay,
yeah,
absolutely. But now what's gonna happen here is the fact that I know I can't pay, so you're gonna be the one that's always asking. You're gonna be the one that's always putting ideas where, oh, let's go to this, let's do this, and I'm like, but it's literally scrambling me. You know what I mean? And also another thing, you know, like when you're like in a situation and you move past it, and when you meet someone who's in a situation that you've been through, it's giving coach. And that's also what it's gonna give in our relationship for me. Yeah, because it's giving, when you graduate, you're like 3 years into working now, it's giving, we're gonna also work on your schedule. Because if I'm not showing me, as we're students, high school students, what do we think about them? On Twitter, you see it all the time. Oh, I can't believe I used to think I was stressed in high school. When we have Eli buys a couch, Nele buys a microwave, we're gonna think like, I can't believe I was stressed in university, because you move on. So obviously, when I'm like, oh my gosh, this quiz, I can't believe you're stressed about a quiz.
I'd be so mad if I dated somebody like that who said that.
Because also, even if you don't say it, it's about the undertone. And also, we're literally gonna work on your schedule. It's gonna be oh no, I have a meeting. Oh no, I have a this. Oh no, I have a that. And then when you're like, oh no, I actually need to start my assignment. And wait, do you have like a week to do that? You know? Yeah, it's giving.
You want.
Yeah. And also, it's absolutely okay to be like, but oh my gosh, in maybe 2 years, I'll start working, but you have set the tone. It's very hard to get away from a tone that you've set from the very beginning. I feel like men, men are very calculated. They know exactly what they're doing when they come after you specifically. They know exactly what they're doing. And in my head, I'm like, we thinking. You said
because they can be
Lorna is gonna feel
like,
small,
about dependent on me.
exactly, and I'm gonna use that. So when you see a door, as it is, why would you go through it? Why would you bother? When you see a volcano, why would I get close?
Oh my God,
They want to be like
a volcano.
It's different when you're like, it's just sunny roses, and then you're just walking through them. But then when you know the things that like go on long term, like we all read these stories. Oh, what I wish I knew when I was 20. What I wish I knew when I was we all read those things. So when you read those things, you look at patterns and you look at this and you're like, okay, men think like this, men think like that. It's also the same sentiments when I was saying that whole age gap thing. It's also like a huge conversation now about what would a 27-year-old be speaking to a 19-year-old for.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what you're doing. It's not giving, oh no, it's innocent.
Yeah.
He loves me.
Yeah.
No. Whereas Bowen's are doing?
Yeah. Definitely. It's almost like, you know, when like a 24-year-old dates, if like, let's say a varsity student dates a child in high school, like Boma 16, that 16-year-old thinks it's the best thing in the world. Oh, he buys me McDonald's. Oh, he fetches me in his car, whatever. And it's like, baby,
you victim. With like older ladies, right? It's giving. I remember my lecturer in first year was like, yo, she really said some things, eh? She was like, if a guy comes to you, and whatnot, you're gonna be impressed. Who's gonna be impressed? You don't think you're impressed, but when you're speaking to your friends, you mention it. You are impressed. But I'll follow you, otherwise you are. But in that I'm like, okay.
Like, exactly.
Next. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
But then when you're younger, it's giving. Even if you're not excited, like over the moon, like you bending your neck, taking a picture with the emblem and whatnot, even if it's not giving that, but there is like a level of excitement.
There is.
Oh no, he can literally call and be like, let's go to Cape Town. You know what I mean? But back to what you were saying, with you specifically, someone who has something, because I know a lot of varsity students, they do like promo work and whatnot. I wouldn't be fine, but it's not wrong. Which is why I'm like, it's not smart, but it's not wrong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You just need to just think about it properly. Think. There are stats that say that living together before getting married means that you'll have a higher chance of getting a divorce rather than people who don't live together before getting married. So I want to ask you, Chozaboza.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, Chozaboza, what are your views and what would you advise people who
live together?
Ask a quickly question.
Sorry, Toby.
Who are thinking about getting married? What would you advise them in terms of like, do you suggest they should live together, yes or no, and why?
Live together. Living together changes things.
You have to elaborate. They've never had this conversation 7 million times.
Oops. I feel like, why would you buy a car without test driving it? Why would you buy it without knowing everything about it? And for me, living together is a very big part because I get irritated by the smallest things. And you know how, what's this thing on TikTok? I'm always going to use TikTok. Sorry. But like on TikTok, the ladies, I remember this one time, there was a hashtag, Mommy Strike. And they were like, I'm picking up your clothes. Or oh my gosh, he never washes the dishes. Or oh my gosh, he never puts the toilet seat up. And these are women who have been married for 7 years. It's giving, because now I'm so familiar with you, the little things are starting to irritate me. Because eqaleni with the tone that I set and I allowed when we started living together, it was giving, oh, let me pick up after you. Oh, let me oh, the toilet seat, it's not a big deal. But 7 years later, it's gonna be a big deal. So I would much rather diazi now. Because, okay, you can have paperwork and whatnot, set things about in the event of a divorce, but no one gets married to get divorced. I mean, except for Abambe insurance, you know. So for me, it would be I don't want to find out later, because that's a big deal for me. That's a ick. The toilet seat, sure, I can tell you 3 times. Sure. I can absolutely tell you 3 times. You're like, oh my gosh, the toilet seats. Oh my gosh, laundry basket, but if you keep doing it, I'm gonna leave you. Because I can't live with you. If I can't live with you, home is where I find peace. Because the world is and if it's giving no, then I'm gonna leave you. And now, in the event of being married and me finding out those things while married, yo, what a long journey of it, divorce. Yo, you're not my child. Why must I say things 8 times to you? And also, why am I even saying things as if when I was shally appa, when I'll burn be down, you'll find my shady straight. Why? I want to see earlier on if like, sure, I can tell you when, okay, I tend to say, oh no, you don't speak to me throughout the day. I tend to see, But then now when we live together, the smallest things, because I know those things are going to irritate me very much in the long run, I want to know now. I want to know, I want to see, I want to feel it, I want to experience it now. So that I know about Katulawe.
I obviously don't agree.
Absolutely.
I obviously don't agree, because I feel like let's say stuff like tidy, like being tidy and clean and stuff like that. I don't think that you have to live with a person in order to see stuff like that. It's not like you don't visit the person. It's not like you've never been in their car. And with the whole thing of like, let's take the toilet seat for example. Let's say this person has, let's take a high age. Let's say this person has had 30 years of like not putting the toilet seat down. It's not gonna take 3 days to do it, but it's like you need to see, you'll see with like other things, like if you like, I actually didn't like that you did that, you know, like if let's say they visit you and they put the dish in the sink and you tell them, don't put the dishes in the sink, they do it again, like you can see that they're not being considerate already in like circumstances that and scenarios that you end up being in. Then you can already tell her, okay, like this person is so set in the ways to high that I'm not willing to change and to become like a version that I can live with. Then you can break up with them. Then I don't see, Manje, we must live together before. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot goes into living together, like a lot. For a break up, and how many relationships, like how many people are gonna give you the ick and the but there's always something that someone must unlearn in order to make the relationship be better. And even vice versa, like even us, there are things that we need to learn to make the other person like not get the ick.
My other thing is, people can pretend.
They can definitely pretend.
If you are over at my place for like 2 weeks, I can absolutely pretend. But you pretend and then you yourself. And also my thing is, back to the stats thing.
Yeah.
That thing also goes along with the fact that people change in marriage. Because it's such a marriage. Now, I've always said this to you, Chomi. What you get is what you're always gonna get. There's absolutely nothing more, nothing less you're gonna get from me.
Yeah.
Sure, if we say, oh my gosh, Usino from the first day that we met, Usino from 1 year into our relationship, absolutely didn't get the same person.
Yeah.
You know? not the same amounts of vulnerability and whatnot, you know what I mean? 1 year to 3 year, sure. But 2 months ago, we were not married. Today, we're married and this is not what I'm used to. You're not giving me what I'm used to. You're not giving me a routine yet. There's absolutely no need for us to change anything. You know what I mean? For me, it's giving, you know, like TikTok. Not even on TikTok. Even Twitter. When women insinuate some things and they're like, I will never cook for my boyfriend, I'll cook for my husband. I'll wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning and iron your clothes when you're my husband. But when you're my boyfriend, I'm not going to do that. So automatically, you're already ready that things are going to change. These things are going to be put in place and whatnot. And remember that you're not the only one. Men have certain things that they have in their heads. They're thinking, oh no, once kuti lobola the cows, you know? Onom lobola, now the cows come, uncles come. It's going to be giving...
When I'm giving you food
and
now.
even not like gobbering and food things. For an example, for people like you who plan on making this like a full-time thing, majority of the time you're working from home, right? What also is gonna happen is the fact that Umdu is gonna come back from work and you're still at home. And it's gonna giving, oh,
what have you been doing the whole day?
And the dinner as a dinner I got and they're like gonna be conversations like that. And because now it's in marriage, it's gonna be giving, I was expecting you to level up. You know what I mean? Because our relationship level has upped, you know? You know what I mean? So I'm expecting now this
thing that you're saying on Twitter that the people are like, no, I'll only do that for. I feel like that is sort of sets everything up for failure. Because it's like, if you're setting the tone, it means like, let's be realistic. Like, if you come over as my boyfriend, I am going to cook for you because I'm having you over at my place. But when I come to your place, don't expect me to cook. For me, it's that whole thing of like, with stuff like that, it's like, I don't think you need to live together to already set the tone of like how you'll be when you're married. Like, already, if you can see, okay, like, I'll cook when you come to my place, you cook when I go to your place. It's like, why would you think when we get married that's gonna change? Why would you think that also, now I'm gonna stop cooking? I mean, not I'm gonna stop cooking, I'm gonna be the one cooking all the time, you're gonna just chill?
Because I feel like also, which is why I had said it needs to be a conversation, especially for people like you. Just because I'm gonna be working from home,
don't think exactly.
Also with men, it's not just women. Men are always like, I would never spend more than 20k on a girlfriend. I would never if tuition fees is and I have money, I'm not going to pay for it because you're not my wife. And again, and like, shit.
This is the scary part about getting married. There is no assurance that Nova, you've lived together. Nova, you haven't lived together. After 10 years. After 20 years.
Okay.
So, honestly, it's one of those, you know.
That song, Christ is my firm foundation. If your foundation is now you're gonna must it's just, it's as light as paper. Why would you stand on that and be like, why would you do that? At least if you it was stronger, then get shame. It is what it is. But now I'm also
I think the conclusion is just
life is literally about item. Like nothing is for sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely nothing is for sure. But also now you need to see it about okay, it's something that makes sense.
Yes.
When I saw red flags, nothing don't work again.
Yes. So basically,
we are fun as tet.
Yeah.
Time to decide. Oh, go. Fnagas complain.
Courtney. That Courtney is this Chloe. That's what you want. Anyways, in life, Suba Uklowi, just obviously sometimes you can't see things coming, but once you've seen, and like if you're seeing the red flag,
I promise you, your people won't even make fun of you.
That's the thing. Why would they make fun of you?
Because not just one lenders, we
exactly.
But now, if it's giving, first one was a mistake, second one was a dondon, fourth one you said it was sure. Njani, you believe it, London.
Like how
I didn't even get before you. Why would you want to do that?
Ne.
Ibe ngathi sithi abarong
bafuna ubetha actually.
Ibe ngathi sithi abathakatha. Xa sithi no Tommy imuncu le nto yenzayo. Uthana no, you're so jealous of me. I'm quite jealous. In fact, you need a slap, my darling. You need a slap because what are you doing? But if it's giving, oh no Tommy. Sure, it had flags as well, you know, but it was not giving major things. It was giving one baby mama, you know. Come in high school, people, not children are a gift, but mistake. Like it's giving mistake in high school, and now you're like 27. I'm not gonna hold that against you. You know what I mean? But if it's giving 19, 22, 23, 25, and then figure clown at 27. God, why would I do that? It clear. I'll take glasses.
Honestly. So just be vigilant. Just have your eyes open. I guess that's the conclusion. You guys.
And ungazube sure. Ungazube comfortable kakhulu.
Ungazube sure.
90% nje uteni mshiye.
Mshiye just
lean. Because you know that thing of starting over. Not just materially, like materialistic starting over. Also mentally. You were like, yeah, gum, uzbethesifula. Dodam, chum. And now, Chummy are looking at you like, oh, smoon. You know what I mean? Or even if it's not giving, oh, smoon, it's giving, oh, Chummy, we never saw that one coming, eh? Because life unjalo. Ufana days. Sometimes go 0, sometimes go 6.
You know?
Sometimes go 2. Sometimes go 3. Sometimes we make it no number. You know what I mean? So obviously now I share at 10% because you never know what's gonna happen. No bongate ufane no snowy D u calculate yonke into. Uso shock shaka. Not to say expect the worst. But hlala no 10%. For my sake and my sanity, please.
Yeah, definitely for our sake. So basically, word wakker, blij wakker. Let us know in the comment section down below, what are your views on ukujola, umntiyasebenza, awusebenzi, ukuhlala ndawonye, niyahlala ndawonye, are you selling your nathengisa, ngenzani? Let us know in the comment section down below if you do have dilemmas that you would like us single people, not necessarily us, but it's definitely going to be me and a great single person advise you on like whatever situation you're having romantically. Please not friendshipically. Ribuaka mujolo muna. Wa understand
more intimate.
Mujolo wa understand that. So there's a link in the description where you can send your dilemmas anonymously and we can check them out and reply to you so that you can be a part of season 2. Baby, leave them down there. Thank you so much for watching. We obviously had a great time. But where can they find you, sister girl?
Oh no, please don't find me. But I mean, I am on Instagram.
They should find you.
Don't go on Twitter though.
On way. Like
Instagram. If you type out Sinovio Dangazele, it's gonna come up.
Okay. Sinovio Dangazele.
But you call me Sinovio Dangazele, and I don't like her.
Anyways,
and she has my name.
S. Dangazele, the OG, gay one.
That tattoo is calling.
Period. Anyways, I'm one and only _ on all social media platforms, as you guys know. Check me out or whatever. I'm amazing, funny, great, fun loving, bubbly, whatever. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next episode of Coaches Don't Play, which will probably be next week, but you know the vibes. It be what it is. Just be happy when you get it. Love you, loads.
Yes, Anna.